Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a real-life medium? Then this is the podcast for you. In this show, you'll learn how to open your heart to spirit, hear adventures I've experienced as an award-winning psychic medium and teacher. Plus, I'm going to give you some psychic information and insight into what the future holds for our increasingly crazy world. Tune in every Friday and get ready to connect to the other side. I'm Jen, and I'll be your guide starting right now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Singing Medium Podcast. My intention has already been fulfilled for 2024. You might listen to this before that, but my intention was to work with other people and have more guests on the podcast. And so, drum roll, we have someone on the podcast today, and her name is Naomi, and she is known as the Cake Pop Girl. You know what's really weird? I almost said what's formerly known as the Cake Pop Girl, and I had to stop myself. I was like, oh, don't say that, Jen. That's not real, but maybe a psychic. I don't know. Anyways,
I know.
Welcome to the podcast, Naomi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I feel like we're supposed to do this a long time ago, weren't we? Didn't we have I invited you a long time ago and then we forgot about it? Well, I forgot.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because I was thinking that too when you asked me to come on. So when we figured out that we actually live pretty close to each other.
Yes.
Maybe we can, come on to the podcast and do something. And I actually remember in one of our classes, because I am a student of yours as well, you did say that I was going to be on a podcast this year. But we didn't know it was going to be yours.
That's right. I have to. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, it's wrong. I'm just checking my sound, making sure we're on the right microphone, that we sound really good for our listeners. So yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like it always nagged me in the background, you're like, you already said this, you already said. But as you know, you well know, and people who listen to this podcast know that I'm very spirit led. So I feel like when it's time, that's when it's supposed to happen, right? So this is not supposed to happen now. And I'm happy that you're here. And yeah, you guys know that we just sort of have a little chat here and we let whatever happens, happens. And so Naomi is the owner of that Cake Pop Girl, and she makes delicious, except for blueberry. Just kidding. Cake pops. Those are the kind I don't like. I bit into one. I'm like, what is this? You're like, you said you liked it. I'm like, I lied. But all of her cake pops are delicious. And she makes beautiful cakes. But she also has a special talent. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself however you would like to do that.
Yeah, so it's so I'm Naomi, and aside from baking all day, I also do psychic and mediumship readings, and I'm a student of Jen's, going on 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah, this is my second year with you. I know. Time goes by very fast.
Time's not real, but that is really weird. That is so weird, though. That seems like turbo speed in the quantum realm or something like that. I don't know what that is. Anyways, carry on. My eyeballs just got super big when you said that.
So I don't know what to say. I'm kind of coming into my own right now, and I think that's probably why you're picking up on formerly known as that Cake Pop Girl. It's been my identity for quite a while, and I'm for a while when I was just coming into doing readings for clients, I didn't know what business name to give myself. What was I going to go by? Jen's Singing Medium or Elevator Soul? And I didn't know what would be mine. And I struggled with that for a long time on how to break that apart. And I think because it was such a struggle, I kind of surrendered to the fact that I don't think it's going to be separate. So I'm kind of that baking mom who sees dead people and can give clarity in your future. And I'm just going with that. So I think that's kind of just become my new identity, is just being authentically me and not breaking it apart.
I love that. You're like,
Thank
how
you.
about that cake pop medium? You're like,
That
just the
cake pop
mom who talks to dead people and bakes cakes for people. That's too long of a title,
Whatever reading.
but I get the gist. I get what you're trying to say here. Now, I do know that you are organically, naturally gifted from childhood, whereas I am not.
Mhm.
And so it's very interesting when I speak to people who have had this gift since their childhood. And I actually have a symbol for that, is a teddy bear. So I'll see a teddy bear, and that means that someone has been gifted their whole lives, right? And so obviously it's been a journey for you.
Yeah. big
And
time.
do you have any like first memories of when you first maybe saw spirit or had an encounter with the mediumship realm?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I don't remember a time where I didn't see.
Okay.
When I was a child, it was very much seeing, as in they're right in front of me, and it's not like a projected image in my mind. They're just there. So I have a couple that stick with me, but when I was a kid, I would always have this female in this nice white gown sitting on my legs while I slept.
She sat on your legs.
She sat on my legs. I could feel it. You would see kind of the bed kind of dip in, and she would sit on my legs, and she would just sit there all night. And to me, that it felt like it was a guide. It felt like somebody who protected me. That's how it felt. I was never fearful or anything like that.
I was going to say,
And
how traumatized are you by having this
I know.
random lady sitting on your legs when you're sleeping? You're like, Mom, no, I'm not your
No.
mother.
No, but it wasn't scary at all.
Mm.
It was something almost familiar
Okay.
without really knowing who she was. And then another time, I would see my grandfather, who passed away when my mom was pregnant with me. And I used to tell them all the time, Jedek is here. And they'd be like, no, he's passed away, not really understanding what I'm talking about.
Right.
And so he had told me to tell my mom that he says, hi, Christine. And I went to my mom, not really understanding what that was, because her name is Tova.
Okay.
And when I said it to her, her eyes just lit up, because she changed her name from Christine
Wow.
to Tova when she got married to my dad. So I didn't know that, being so young. And that's kind of where my parents started to actually believe that something was up with me.
Right.
I'm just having,
This is not a normal child we have here.
normal child. So yeah, not making things up. So that's always stayed with me as well. But because I was so young, there's just so many instances and memories that I have of that, and not really knowing what to do or who to go to at such a young age. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad you didn't have anyone to sort of steer you, and you had to live with that by yourself, like on your own, being like trying to figure it out. You're 8 years old maybe, and you're like, oh, don't tell my friends, they're gonna think I'm weird. Or
Yeah. I'm very fortunate that my friends, even though didn't quite understand, because I feel like sometimes it's very difficult to understand unless you're going through it.
Right.
But they were very supportive and accepting, which was a blessing to have when I didn't have anyone to go to.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I didn't have anyone to really connect with until I joined your classes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, 30, 31,
Okay.
32 years.
Wow. So you're telling me,
of
like, when
not
you're like 8
knowing.
years old on the playground, everyone's like, Naomi can talk to ghosts, and like, cool, you're the coolest person ever, which doesn't seem like that would be a normal occurrence, right? Because obviously, I just imagine someone who's 8 years old and say, hey, your dead grandpa's standing beside you. They'd be like, oh, you're the weirdo now. We don't want to hang out with you anymore, and get the old L on your forehead kind of thing, and like whip your track pants down and be like, hey, But I love that you did not have that experience.
No, I didn't. It's my friends had some experiences in my house, because there was always action going on in my house.
Okay.
So it wasn't weird. I didn't feel like the weirdo or the loser in school, nothing like that. And oftentimes it's just kind of like I knew not to say anything. At that age, you don't know how to communicate what they're
Right.
trying to say.
Yeah.
So it was just quiet.
I'm like, maybe I'm projecting on you from my high school experience.
Sorry, that was your experience.
I did not, maybe grade 8. I did not like, I didn't mean that you were a weirdo, but you know, if you imagine like a bunch of 8-year-olds on the playground, it's not a regular conversation you're going to have. You're just worried about, you know, what's for dinner and your dog
Absolutely.
is around the corner and that kind of thing, right? So that's awesome. Yeah, it's very rare for me to, and people usually ask me like, they think they don't have a gift if they aren't born with it. That's a misconception, is that you must be born with it. That is absolutely 100% a myth and not true. Because I am, you know, there's a lot of mediums out there, as you know, in your classes too. They didn't have your experiences as a child, right? And they're just like trying to figure out from day one, as a grown up, as a 40-year-old woman, how do I, you know, connect to the other side, and how do I tap into my intuitive abilities and all this kind of thing. So yeah. And I'm kind of thinking back now to how natural you are at this, is that it probably helped you to have that experience your whole life growing up and make it not as difficult for you to navigate as a grown up, relearning how to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I turned it off for quite some time just so I could feel normal in high school and in my 20s.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, even thinking back to some of our classmates who may not have been born with it necessarily. I mean, it's in all of us, whether you want to bring it up or not. That's your choice. But it's really fascinating to see how the classmates have really grown from those who weren't born with it or were born with it. It doesn't matter. We're all on our own journey, and we're all growing beautifully. So it's very nice to see that.
Yeah. And so like, have you had any like haunted house experiences as well? Like paranormal? Was it just your grandma? Also, we need to touch on that you can physically see spirit.
So it's changed from when I was a child to
right. Oh,
adult.
okay.
There have been times I would say at nighttime when I will see somebody in my room. Not as much lately since I've formed boundaries.
That's right. There you go.
But now it's almost like a projection in my mind. So I can see what they look like, their hair, their eyes, you know, what they're wearing, things like this, but it's not physically right in front of me. But I can see them in my mind.
Okay, perfect. Because I thought you still can actually physically see them. That would be tricky walking down the street and you're in a crowd. You're like, oh, hey, is that person dead or is that person alive? Or
I know.
Yeah, but that's what you're describing, clairvoyance. So that's exactly how I do it. So if I get a chance, because I'm not majorly clairvoyance for mediumship, it's more clairaudient, where I hear them talking to me in my head. But you're describing clairvoyance, where it's like people think that you should see a physical apparition, and it's not actually that. It's actually in your imagination, which confuses people. They're like, well, how do I know it's my imagination? And that's the work, right? Is to develop it. So you do know the difference between if it's imagination, because you're actually working with imagination.
Yes.
To be able to do our work.
Yes. And there's a feeling too, right? There's a feeling in there of this is who it is. This is what they're trying to say.
That's what I mean. That's the work, is like, you don't know if you're like a brand new person who comes into mediumship level 1 and you're like, hey, I don't know anything. Right. So it's going to be a little bit trickier for you than when you have that natural ability. And then you have to figure, there's so many things you have to learn. There's so many things, right? There's so many things, and it's like a lifelong journey. So going forward in the future here, do you feel like this will be something that you do forever, or are you just sort of waiting to see how it goes? Or
as of right now, I feel like it's forever.
Yeah. I wonder, it'd be really hard to get out of this, wouldn't it? Like, I feel like it'd be really hard to like just stop forever. Not like, I always say to people, okay, guys, if I get super rich and famous and I have lots of money, I'm not doing this anymore. And people are like, what?
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
This is Mike Bolo of Lexicon Valley.
And I'm Bob Garfield.
Are you one of those people who sometimes uses words?
Do you communicate or acquire information with, language?
Hey, us too. So join us on Lexicon Valley to chew over the history, culture, and many mysteries of English, plus some wisecracks.
Find us on one of those apps where people listen to podcasts.
I'm like, no, I'm not. But like, if you need help, I'll help you. But I am not doing this anymore. So for me, it's a career choice. It's, transition from kindergarten teacher. And so maybe there's a similar story in there for you as well in the future. But like, I don't know. There's dementia in my head right now. I just don't know what happened when I was talking about. Oh, this is what happens when I go on Zoom. As you know, I don't know if this happens for you when you go on Zoom. Like all of a sudden, like there's a spirit thinks that it's time to work. And so because I can't see them like you do, I'm like, I completely lose track of my converse, like what I'm saying. And I feel like I actually have what dementia I imagine would feel like.
Yeah.
Like a physical reaction. And I'm like, who are you? What do you want me to talk about again? What was I saying? So you're gonna have to help me out because I'm in dementia. So I'm assuming you have someone who has dementia has passed. Does that make sense?
She would actually, she comes through very often, but she's hallway.
She's alive.
Yeah.
She's in between the worlds. Yeah. It was like, it just almost like someone hit me over the head with a hammer, not literally, but literally completely wiped my mind of any conversation that made sense at all. Of any forming of words. And it's still here. So yeah. Do you want to, we should probably explain to our listeners. I think I've done actually an episode on the hallway.
Yes, you have.
Maybe we should just reiterate. Do you want to share your take on the hallway at all for the people who are like, what the hell is hallway?
Sure. So a hallway is someone who's still living, still with us. However, maybe either close to transitioning into the other realm, or if not, that could be, like Jen said, has dementia or Alzheimer's or mental health issues, ill, situations like that. So they can come through in a reading, and it seems very much mediumistically.
Yes.
But it doesn't necessarily mean they're passing away anytime really, really soon, like not to scare, clients.
Yeah. We always have to say, okay, it doesn't mean they're going to die. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just this weird realm that we found in our classes. Like it was new to me as well too, where I was like, where am I? Like, and coma patients, people who are in comas, there's like the list seems to be growing of people who their energy is in this space between the human world and the spirit world. And we're always learning, which is what, we're talking about, we do this forever because we're always learning. You cannot literally learn everything about mediumship in the span of 10 years. Because I feel like it's always kind of evolving and growing as well too, right? Absolutely. And I think we should just talk about the story that just happened on the weekend. Because I was kind of speaking of hallway, and not really a hallway. That wasn't really a hallway, but it was something else. And I feel like we need to share this. So I'll set it up. Okay, I'll set it up for drama purposes. Okay, so Naomi and I were working at Moonflowers, which is a local store here in our town, and we both were psychics that were doing a psychic fair. So my table was at one end of the room. It wasn't a very big room. And then Naomi's table where she was doing readings was at the other end. And we're just doing our thing, minding our own business. Clients are coming in to see us, whatever. I'm not paying attention to who's going to who. We just concentrate on what we're doing, right? And it's actually, for me, not difficult to navigate, but a little bit not as calm or organized as it could be is if I was just in a room by myself. I don't know about you.
Yes.
But we had, what was it? A younger mom with a baby and then her mother. So is that right? So the mother came to you.
That's right. The mother came to me.
Her daughter came to me
at
the same time. And we had no idea that these two are related. I don't know if you did. I had no clue what was going on. So think of this. If you're a medium or psychic, you know how crazy this is. 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes to do your thing. And for me, I feel like that's not enough time to do a proper medium psychic, no problem. I can tell you 20 things in 15 minutes of what's going to happen to you. You got to do this, this, and this. Mediumship, it's not fair. Like you need at least half an hour to an hour to do this properly.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm on my end. I don't know what happened to you, but I remember just being like, what the hell was that after? And I'm like, I said, I was doing psychic and she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, something's weird here. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, did you want to ask me a question? And she said, I don't know if I should say the relationship anyways. She asked me if one of her siblings was coming through. And I'm like,
Oh, I picked up on him too.
Yeah, he goes like, my brother, was my brother here? And I'm like, is your brother's passed? Like I was in the psychic realm, so I wasn't thinking about it. And it was so hard. It's like, so I describe it as if you ask me to bring in somebody from the spirit realm who's not showing up voluntarily on their own. It is like going to your house and you're in bed and you're sleeping till noon and you're really tired. And I shake you and go, get up right now and talk to me. And you're kind of like, huh? What? So it's very molassesy for me to do it that way. So I did it. But I kept saying the whole time, why is this not easy? Why is this not easy? Enter Naomi. So
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny because how I knew she was the daughter is because while I was giving the reading,
right.
I picked up on her career. And she's like, oh, that's my daughter back
Okay.
there.
Oh, okay.
I said, oh, okay. And so I'm talking about, moving. I'm seeing packing boxes. Somebody's moving. And it feels like one of your children, it's a son. And she said, oh, that makes sense because he could be relocating for work. And then later in the reading, I'm hearing you talking about boxes. And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh,
right.
That's right. I can't say
thank you. Because I was like, what's with the nose?
But she did have a son that passed away as well. And he came through. He passed at 19 unexpectedly. And
I don't know how he passed. I didn't even get that. It was so choppy.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed in a car accident at nighttime. And so he was kind of playing the scene and
right.
But he was coming through very much so for his nieces and nephews, which would be my clients' grandchildren. So it was interesting. But I know what you mean by when they ask for somebody to come in, especially in a 15-minute time frame, you almost feel like you have to be in a much deeper space very quickly.
100%.
To have them come through. And it's a little more choppy where I'll maybe get how they passed first, but not necessarily see them yet. Right. So in that regard, it's very different. Yeah.
But it made sense to me after we talked. It was kind of like I was in this weird space because I'm like, what the hell was that? But what ended up happening, and I realized after, was that the younger, like I guess it was his sister I had.
Yeah.
So the sister came to me. And I was trying to talk to her brother in spirit at the same time that Naomi is talking to his mother at the same time. So think about that. That also would explain why it was choppy. Yeah. And I was having so much trouble. I got like maybe just one, I got ATV and a coat. Like I was like, I can't do this. Like this is not happening. And then I was like, well, imagine trying to talk to the same person. It was like he was split in half.
That's right.
Half of his soul was with you and half was with me.
Yeah. Right. Trying to communicate very different things too. It's not like he's telling us the same thing.
And I was probably frustrated at this point because I'm like, she says no to everything I'm saying.
Oh man. It's rough.
I'm like, someone's moving. She's like, no, they're not. I'm like, yes, they are. She's like, no, they're not. I'm like, okay. I'm just whatever you say. Right. And so then she's like, well, what about my brother? And I was like, oh man, I got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To bring him in, but he'd already been with you. So that made a lot of sense afterwards. So if you're a student of mediumship or you're doing readings and it's kind of in a psychic fair with a lot of that is possible where one spirit is with one medium already and then maybe their family member comes to see you, it's going to be choppy. Yeah. And the noise does not help. Like we can do it. We're professionals. Okay. We can do it in the noise. Yeah. But it's very difficult to do this.
It is. You have to be in a very focused state.
Altered state too.
To everyone else. Yes.
You also have to be an altered state. Like an altered state of consciousness is what we have to develop and learn how to do this when we're mediums. Because you can't just, you can do it, but it's very surface led. Like I could just do one run for you right now and be like, blah, 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 blah. But the best kind of reading that you do as a trained medium is the one where you're able to access that altered state.
Absolutely.
And that's where the good stuff comes in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about your cake pops. I just talk about how cute are your cake pops? Like, come on.
Thank you.
They always pop up on my Instagram feed. I'm like, oh my God. The one time you did the Muppets one, I freaked out. Like I never freak out about the Pokemon I saw the Muppets and I'm like, hello. I wish those were coming to me because it will like evoked a nostalgia within me.
That's what I love about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like as a
Yeah.
little kid, it's like me as a little kid seeing these, all you do is post your cake pops, and they're amazing, by the way. Like they should be in a magazine. Have you been
Thank
approached in a magazine?
Not yet. That would be cool.
Okay. I feel like I'm very psychically tuned in here, but like, what about a magazine where, because I see like a glossy photo of your cake pops
Oh, that would be really
and
cool.
like an article like the cake pop mom talks to dead people, like something like that, where there's like an article about this and it's a glossy, it's really cool. And you know that picture where you're standing there with like your cake pops like this?
Yeah,
It's something like, it just has this very glossy magazine-y feel to it. So we'll see what happens, but I'm making a prediction.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I actually started the business while I was on mat leave with my youngest Chase. And I needed something that was for me, almost like a breakaway from being the mom taking care of two kids at home, two little kids. So I started the cake pop business, but originally I actually started it. It kind of just came, I want to say, because I was making Christmas cake pops for my neighbors. And I said, well, the batch makes so many. I don't want to give them like 40 cake pops. I'll just sell off the rest. And they sold so fast within like 10 minutes.
Right.
And then all these people started asking for more. And I ended up making 500 of them.
That's a lot of cake pops.
That's a lot of cake pops. So it just kind of snowballed where I just never stopped. Like the orders just kept coming. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I can actually do this. I needed something for myself.
Yeah.
So I was taking care of the kids all day and then baking at night and not getting very much sleep. But it didn't matter because I loved what I did.
Right.
And then I came into your life. You came into mine. Because I turned 30 or whatever it was, 31. And, I wanted to be able to talk to my kids if they developed any type of gifts, because I didn't have anyone to go to.
Right.
So that was the main reason why I came to you to take classes so that I could navigate with my children. But my why really, really changed. And I'm sure maybe you've noticed that too in classes, but it's no longer about my kids. It was about what I can provide to people.
Right.
While still being able to talk to my children later on and knowing what to do and what to say and how to protect them and all of that. So for me now, it's really the love that I feel in readings is so magical, and what I can provide to clients and people and the healing that comes with it, however that healing looks to them, is beautiful as well. And I've learned so much about myself. I did not know mediumship just breaks you open completely. And I'm very grateful for the growth that I've made even since the beginning of 2023, but even how much it's changed myself and my life. It's amazing. So anyone out there who's questioning to do this or not, like for me, it's a hell yes, go for it. Yeah. It's beautiful what it does for yourself too.
Yeah. It's what I always tell people, like in the very first class, I say to everyone, the new students, I'm like, what's your why? Right. And I have noticed that your why has changed, because your why is really important. Like if you don't know why you're doing something, you shouldn't be doing it. Right. And those hell yeses, which I always talk about those, like every episode, I'm like, just what's your hell yes, which is your soul pulls, your spirit led decisions, and getting out of your head. And I don't think I was told, I know for a fact, I was not told this by my mentor, that mediumship is about you, which sounds selfish, but it's not. Mediumship is actually about you, not the spirit world, which doesn't make any sense logically. But if you, as you know, because you're in it, yes, we do connect with people and we do connect to the other side. But when we do that, we become like their essence, which is pure unconditional love. They don't have any crap carrying with them. They have no judgment. There's none of that. There's no anger, resentment, anything. All those negative egoic constructs that we have as humans that we learn throughout our lives to survive and whatever, it completely is dissipated when you cross over from this world to the next. And so when we immerse ourselves as students in that realm, we're blending with their energy, literally that essence. And so anything that is not of love would start to dissolve.
Dissolve.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I even find that it carries through in my day-to-day life, my relationships, my friendships. I can't say that I was ever a super judgy person, but I would say that I have a lot more understanding.
Yes.
Less judgment. I think I get over things a lot quicker. Something that could very deep heartache.
Yeah.
I can work through. And I believe that's very much to do with the mediumship realm as well, too.
Yeah. And would you say you also understand loss more because
I do.
you know what it's like on the other side? Like you literally immerse yourself in that realm. So you kind of understand, you have a grasp of what it's like, right? They show us,
Yeah.
they show us that they either can grow up or they stay a baby, or they're younger. If they're a grandfather, they look younger, right? And they're just so happy. They're always telling me how happy they are over there. I mean, there's a couple
Absolutely.
instances where people are not, like, their soul is not settled for whatever reason, but it's always joy over there and unconditional love. And I always find that there's no human words to describe the feeling of how they feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe the amount of love. Like, it's like our kind of love times a million that they exude. So when we're being like x-rayed all day long by that love, we have to start doing our own work, and we have to become more that essence of who we really are just by taking a class in mediumship and learning, what it actually means. And I've seen that in you, actually. And I would describe you as a very non-judgmental person. Like, honestly, like, you can tell, like, you're very grounded. I don't know you from before well, but like, I've been observing your growth, obviously, because I'm mentoring you guys, but you're very non-judgmental. So I see that in just one aspect of picking one thing that I see.
Yeah.
It's very apparent.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
I feel like also your aura is bright too. Like, I don't know, maybe because we talk every day in DMs, but I'm like, I know when you're not good and when you're good.
You do.
Yeah. I'm like, oh crap, that's not good. Or like, oh, she's like, oh, today, I can't think of anyone else. Like, if another student messaged me, I wouldn't be able to know how their mood is or whatever. I'm like, oh, they're just normal. But you, I'm like, oh God, I better check on Naomi. Like, even without seeing anything, I just very in tune to your energy, So it's like it's a testament to your vibration, I guess, and the work that you're doing on yourself too, at the same time as being a really great medium.
Thank you. Yeah, I find that even with this work, you really can't hide your feelings or bury them.
I thought you could say your face. You can't hide your face.
Well, you can't hide your face either.
I am not going to hide my face.
Not hide my face.
But yes, your feelings. You can't. Yes.
Whether you have trust issues or whatever, you're going through some trauma or you haven't worked through triggers. I find that it's hard to bury them and forget about them. They're going to keep rising up for you to deal with it. And I find that when you do, it almost elevates you in this field, right? In this work. So try not to bury them deep if you're in this work. And
that's hard for a lot of people. They're like running from themselves, literally, like escapism. And I can see that when people don't, I don't think and I hope this episode helps them understand what the hell we're doing. They think we're just talking to dead people. I'm like, here's your $40. Now talk to my grandma. Like, you guys have no idea what we're doing every single day for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, why is your readings $200? You have no idea what I'm doing back here.
Before, after, every day.
Right? Like, it's physically draining. It's like they use this as a battery, right? I don't know if you ever feel drained, but I do. Like, you guys know I nap every day. Whether I'm doing readings or not, I will nap every day. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just they have no idea what we're doing. And I feel like sometimes people expect a lot from us. They expect miracles, and they expect us to know, like, what they're hiding in their pocket, and every single detail. Well, if the medium doesn't say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, she's not real. And I'm like, you can feel that when someone walks in the room, right? I'm like, oh man, especially these people with the
arms crossed.
Arms crossed.
I
I
always
don't
wondered,
believe
why
in-
did you come? Why are you paying
I don't
me?
believe anything. You're full of shit. And I was like, why are you coming to see me if you don't believe in me? Like, fine, I don't believe in you either then. You're going to have a
Yeah.
crappy reading.
Absolutely.
Right?
You get out of your reading what you bring. If you're gonna
Right.
come in with an open heart, open mind, and good intentions, then you're gonna get a lot more. But if you're
Mhm.
closed off, crossed armed, testy, then
Oh my gosh.
there's only so much we
You
can
have
do.
a skeptic story? Like, do you have a skeptic story where it really was like so hard to read them
Um,
that you can think of like on the spot?
I think I do have a couple, but I wouldn't say that they were skeptic. It was more, I think they were worried with what I would see.
Okay.
So I find in those situations when maybe they have a lot going on and they're afraid of what I'll see or how to navigate it, they put a wall up.
Okay. You can feel that wall too, eh? Like almost
Absolutely.
you can
And I
see it.
physically see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see a
a
wall.
brick wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Quite
a message to
difficult.
people to be mindful
Yeah.
of your tude when you of your energy when you're coming to see us.
Because
Right?
it's almost more draining, don't you find?
It's like trying to run through a swimming pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just
it's more
relax and let me float on the ocean like this. It'll be great. But no, you want me to punch through the water to get to you, and you get like little snippets. You don't get the full effect. You get like blip, blip, blip. Maybe you get some cool, maybe you don't, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never understood why a skeptic would want to come and see us.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
No.
So if you're a skeptic, be nice to us, okay? We're only human.
Yeah.
But
If I feel that, I just like pretend that there's a curtain covering my table at those fairs.
Yes. Yeah, thanks.
Close
They
that.
always come to me for some reason. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm a I keep telling my head, I'm a professional. Be professional. Don't say anything rude. Just be professional. Get through it. You can get through this. You got this, you know? But the expectation is humongous when they're skeptics.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
expectation. So I always want to say, like, I would never say this, but like, I want to say, when it's your time to go and you die, you're going to go over there and go, why was I so mean to that person? Because
Right.
you're going to be like, oh my God, this is real. And you're going to want to say sorry to the medium.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of stories.
I always tell people, like, when you die, you're going to go, oh my God, why did I do that? Like, it's almost like this instant, like, why did I make my life so hard? Or why was I
Right.
so negative? Why was I so worried about that silly little thing for like 5 years when it didn't pan out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much relief. Not that we want to die or anything, but like,
No.
but because we have this every day, they tell us this is what it's like over there, you know? Like, when you die, you're going to be like, why did I do that? 100%.
Why didn't I do that? And why did I
Yeah.
do that every single day?
Yeah.
You know?
Why did
Some
I
people
wait
are-
so long?
That's right.
Why did I
Yeah.
wait so long to like take that class? Or why did I wait so long to tell that person I love them? Why did I not say I love you? Like all these things, you know?
Yeah.
But being a medium, you learn this before you get over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like it
And
makes us nicer people.
It does. It does.
We're very nice.
We're very nice.
I think we're very nice people. That's so funny. Yeah, I have one skeptic story that always steps out, but it works out for me. Like, I think I told the story when I lived in Shelburne. I used to have people come to my house for readings. Right in my first couple years of being a brand new medium, and I was just going for it. This woman came to my house, and I think I had already asked her if I could do a show in her restaurant. So in Orangeville, there was my favorite restaurant. I'm like, I really want to do. I had no business doing this, by the way. Doing a show in a restaurant, like 500, like 100 people. With
Wow.
a microphone and trying to that no business doing that at that time. But I'm like, no, I want to do this. I'm just going bigger, going home. She's okay. I'm going to come for a reading first to test you. I'm like, well, that's fair. I'm not kidding. She came to the door like this. So at our door in
wow.
Shelburne, there was glass so you can see through it. And she was like this, crossing her arms with her face, her eyebrows down to her knees. And I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. I knew I've always been sensitive to that. So then she came in, I did a reading. It was horrible. The reading was horrible.
Aw.
And then she goes, okay, I'll get back to you. And then she actually let me do a reading at the restaurant, a show at the restaurant. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was horrific. You're letting me do this? Thank you. She didn't think it was bad because she didn't
see, there
know.
you go. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes we think it's a terrible reading, but
Right.
the client has no idea. They're like, oh my God. Like, even if you just say, you know, your dad's here and he says, I love you, like that sometimes is enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I find that too. I've had situations in the past where I feel like, man, like, was that reading the greatest, like as
Right.
good as it could have been?
Right.
And then they end up booking again. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right. I'm like, don't I know
Not a,
you from somewhere? I had to read in April. I'm like, oh, I guess it wasn't that bad then. You're back. So thank you.
yeah. And I have to remind myself that it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about my client.
Right.
It's not about me.
Right.
So especially with mediumship, it's not about me. It's about my sitter and it's about the people that come through for them. So
You are an important part of this though. So there's literally the word me is in mediumship. You're like me, right? Because
yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm the vessel, but I can't carry that with me
right.
afterwards, right? And
Yeah.
put myself down.
So are you better now at like shaking it off if you
Oh
feel
yeah.
something go? Yeah. Because there's
Yeah.
some students who are like, hold on to that for years. I'm like, you got to
And
let it go. So
also, sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
I
no.
also found that in the past, I would remember every single reading. Now,
Nope.
I don't remember very much.
No. That's
Like I
good.
remember that it was great, or like certain things
Yeah.
from the reading that were
Yep.
really cool, but I don't hold on to them anymore, which is really nice.
That's actually really important too. As a
Yeah.
medium, you have to learn you have to let that shit go. Like if
Yeah.
I were, because they're like, oh, you probably don't remember this. I'm like, you're right. I don't remember anything that I said because if I hang on to that, I always say I'll blow up. Like
Yeah.
I cannot possibly retain all of those readings that I've done and every single loved one who came through or any psychic information. I just trust that you're back again. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you have to build your business, right? And speaking of building a business, I feel like maybe that's something that you would like to do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of set the intentions a couple months back in one of our classes that I wanted to do more readings.
Mhm.
Not necessarily stop baking, but balance the both.
Right.
And since then, I've been doing probably about 3 a week, 3 to
Okay.
4, sometimes 5 a week.
Yeah.
But I'd like that to be consistent. So I am taking 30-minute to an hour readings over Zoom.
Yep.
Some in person, but most of them are over Zoom just because of distance. So that's been really nice. And I'm very grateful for that, to be able to do that and feel comfortable doing it outside of classes, right?
Yes. Well, you are ready. And I want to make a joke that I don't know where I saw on a Facebook post of one of the students, they call you the teacher's pet.
What?
Yeah.
Why am I the teacher's pet?
I don't know. I don't know if it was, I forget whose it was, but I randomly saw this. I was going through the comments of something about our class. And like, hey, teacher's pet, like you're good. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I disagree with that statement. That sounds judgy.
No, not at all. It was like kind of like a joke, like it was like a nudging, like you're the teacher's pet. But I was never the teacher's pet if there's even such a thing. Like my teacher never noticed me, right? My mediumship mentor, she never noticed me. And no matter what I did, and it was, I think I told the story before, like when I was a student, she would make us like stand in a room of 20 other students in person. Like you guys have it easy, you're on Zoom, but we had to stand up with our little clipboards and like do the reading, right? And every week I'd be like, okay, let's do this. I got this. And I would get information. I would stand up and present it and crickets. Nobody would take it at all. And then I was like, what is going on? I must suck at this so bad. Like there was one student who was like killing it, like at my level now, back then, right? And every time I would go home, my mentor would privately message me and said, that was for me.
Oh
I'd be
my
like,
gosh.
why didn't you tell me? So like, I'm the opposite now. From that moment, I vow as you see me as a teacher, right? I'm like, I think that's for me. That's my grandma, because I don't want to be, and it's not because I'm a spirit hog. It's because I want to not have you guys feel like that.
Yeah, I appreciate
I'm
that.
the opposite of that. But you did give me a reading once because we had like an odd number of Zoom partners or whatever in the breakout rooms. And you did a reading for me. And I think I said, that's like one of the best readings I've ever had.
Well, thanks, Jen.
Yeah. Because like the things that you were saying, was like people probably say, how does she know that?
Yeah. Oh, I remember that one. I remember being in your grandfather's basement.
Right. That's like my favorite place in the world, man. The basement. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the feeling. I remember being there. It's almost like he transported me.
Yes.
To where his trains were, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
And then
being
you're
transported.
your face kind of changed too. Like you almost, I remember in the reading, your face changed where it kind of looked like him or something like this. And
I do look like him, actually. I
okay.
say that all the time. Like there's some pictures of me where I look exactly like him.
Oh,
It freaks me out later. I'm like an old man face, but like I actually look like my grandfather, the Italian one that you were actually connecting with. And that grandfather I didn't spend a lot of time with, like the other one I did, but I do remember being in his cold cellar crawl space thingy where he had actually built that train set from like it was insane what he had built, right? Maybe twice I'd been in there. But it was, I do remember like just me and him at one point, too. So that's cool that he gave that to you as one memory that he had of just me, right? Where he could have been mentioning all the other cousins and things like this. So what we do is very important. Like, it's really important that we sort of do our best work and give everything that spirit gives us, whether it makes sense or not. It's a bonus if it makes sense. Like Chad will say, if I say, he goes, how was that? And I'm like, wasn't very good. He's like, did you make him cry? I'm like, yep. He's like, okay, it was good. You made him cry. So and then one time he's like, Michael Jordan didn't hit every shot. That's what he used to tell me, right? Because he loves Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't hit every shot, I'm like, okay, that's true. Okay.
That's nice. That's nice that you.
I'm like, here's your reading. The end. You don't like it? Too bad. No, I'm just kidding. Right. But you do get to a point where you're like, you just have to give it. And that's it. Get out.
It was, and it's amazing. I love psychic. I love mediumship. I can't say that I prefer one more than the other. Mediumship is just something that started for me.
Right.
Psychic came probably when I was around 10.
Okay.
But mediumship, I just find it, I don't know, there's like a whole other level of love. And it's so heartwarming. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And even at the 15-minute readings on Saturday, there was an older woman that came and her husband passed in May. And she hadn't heard from him. And that was the first thing that came through for her. So obviously it was just supposed to be mediumship for her.
Yes.
No psychic at all.
Yeah.
And he was like, bam, 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 like so much evidential information for her. And she's just like sobbing in the chair. And I'm trying not to cry because she's sobbing. And it was beautiful to be able to give her that comfort and the validation of even stuff that she was seeing and feeling over the last couple of weeks. So it was beautiful to be able to give that to her. And what a nice Christmas gift.
100%. Like I think that's because that's the difference between mediumship and psychic. Psychic, as you know, I've taught you, is like neutral. There shouldn't be any feelings involved at all in what we're saying. But mediumship, there's all the feels in that, right? Because we're immersed into love. Psychic, there's no love in there. They're like, is my husband cheating on me? I'm like, if you have to ask the question, you already know the answer, right? But there's no love there. So I can see why it would be more meaningful, of course, not that psychic isn't helpful, but mediumship is like, you're literally connecting a deceased family member to a person who is very distraught and very grieving. That is a gift. I don't care what anyone says. People say it's not a gift. That is a freaking gift.
That's a gift. Yeah.
And we're honored to be able to do that, right? Like I feel I'm honored to do that.
Absolutely.
But I'm not doing them right now. So whoever wants a reading needs to go see Naomi. Jen is retired from online reading. So giving all the students who are ready to do this all the love and support that I can. And if you guys would like to have a reading, psychic or mediumship, I have actually recommended her in the past to friends and that kind of thing. So I'm happy to hand the baton over to you at some point and say, here you go, it's all you, and I want you to build your business and be successful. And so if anyone wants a reading, how can people reach you?
So they can go over to my Instagram page, which is That Cake Pop Girl, and they can see me that way. Yeah. A lot of my bookings are coming through there because I just don't have a separate account. Don't want to have two accounts that I have to navigate.
Oh, I want to build another one.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm just me and that's it. Anyway, so you can find me at That Cake Pop Girl. And I hope that anyone's listening that's thinking about joining a class, I do hope that you go over to Jen's site and take a look at her class. She's got some really cool classes coming up too.
I do.
You really do. I can't wait for my channeling.
We're very simpatico, me and you. Yeah. Yeah, we have medical intuition class. I'm gonna start doing because I've been doing the same classes for like 5 years, guys. So I was like asking Spirit, I'm like, okay, I need some new ideas here. Like I need some new ideas of what to teach. And medical intuition came up and animal communication. So,
Yeah.
so that would actually help because there's some things that we do in a reading that you would blow your mind. Like, I've talked to a baby in utero before. You know, I can tell in a psychic reading, I can tell you what's going on in your body. Like you can scan. So learning how to do that, you know, like talking to the people ask about their grown sons and they're like, can you tell me about my grown son? I'm like, I literally have to tap into him. Right. So learning how to communicate with people. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah. And you've been a great asset to the classes so far. And I hope that you will continue with that.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. And you know, you are allowed to go other classes, you know. You always tell people so this is like a stage that happens. So like for like 1 year, so I'll have a bunch of students who come together when they're supposed to meet and they're with me for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then they get their wings and they fly away. And then I get the next new group that comes in and they do their thing and they get to be best friends and get really strong about what they're doing. And then like they get like fly away. Right. So this is always this thing that happens where it's like this new group comes in and then the old group kind of goes out. They never really, some of them go away forever, but some of them kind of fly back a little bit sometimes, like, what you doing, Jen? And they fly, you know? So I love that about Spirit brings me the students who are meant to be at the same time with the other people who are also joining. Right. Yeah. That's what I love about, I like teaching, but I love to see strangers come into this Zoom screen and then they're all like really good friends after. Like,
oh my gosh,
so much.
Lifelong friends I've had from your classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That's such a interesting dynamic to observe as the teacher. You know, it's like, look at these strangers coming in here. We got people from like California. We've got someone out east in Vancouver. Like they're all coming together and then we'll do things here. Like there's a picture of me and you that we just took on the weekend and people are like, I want to come. I'm like, you live too far away. You know, so it's really cool that it brings people together. Spirit brings people together. And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, I haven't found a teacher that is as fun as you though. And as supportive. So there's just a different level with you where I'm not ready to fully leave.
No, I didn't want you to leave. I'm just saying at some point you're going to fly away.
At some point. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I haven't found one where I'm like super excited to come to class and feel connected and you know what I mean? So you're just a very different level of teacher compared to what I've had so
that's
far.
Good confirmation and like for me to keep going.
Yes, keep going. Yes.
I don't know. I'm laughing
completely.
that was my intention as I was a medium and a teacher to be fun. You know, if you're not having fun, why are you doing this? Like, why would you want to come to class? I've been in classes where the British teachers are like, I'm like, huh? Why are you saying I don't understand you? So I always said like, I have to be fun. I don't want to listen to a lecture. I want to be interactive and I want to laugh my ass off and get serious when I need to be serious and cry when I need to cry. And, you know, that's always the intention for those classes. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
You guys can go, if you're listening, you can go to one of the UK teachers. They're very knowledgeable, by the way, but also very monotone and you will not have as much. I always tell people come to my class first and then go to Tom John, go to a different teacher and see the dynamic and see that, because some people learn differently. Maybe they don't like goofy Jen. Maybe they want someone who is more serious, but but thank you so much for being part of my classes. Thank you for being an awesome medium and sticking it out and not flying away yet. So if anyone would like to have a reading with Naomi, I highly recommend that you do so. And you reach out to her on Instagram at that cake pop girl.
Yes.
Send her a DM and then you can have a reading with her and have a very lovely time spending time with Naomi. It's always fun hanging out with you. We should do breakfast again sometime because that was really yummy. That one where what did we drink?
Oh gosh, it was delicious.
Like
it was
non-alcoholic something.
Yeah. Non-alcoholic. Was it a margarita?
No, if it was a margarita, it would have alcohol in it. I'm not drinking it.
But like a virgin one.
It was like a mimosa.
Mimosa,
but it was called something else because there was no alcohol in it.
It was delicious.
It was so good. Anyways, I can't shout out to that restaurant because I don't know what it's called, but we had a great time. Maybe you'll find us in Newmarket somewhere. Over by the Starbies. Thank you guys for listening to this episode, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to us chat about mediumship and all things cake pops, and we'll see you guys next time on the Singing Medium Podcast. Thanks, Naomi.
Thank you.